Order for the November 6, 2025 regular meeting for the Conejo Recreation and Park District Board of Directors. If you would please join me and salute our flag together. Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. Madam Clerk, may we have a roll call, please?
Director Nichols,
Yes.
Director Cussworth,
Yes.
Director Huffer,
Yes.
Director Buss,
Yes.
Director Orozco.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Next, we have special presentations. And this evening, we have a special presentation from the Calleguas Municipal Water District. I'd like to welcome their General Manager, Christine McCaffrey. I understand you have a full-blown presentation for us, and we're looking forward to that. And welcome. Glad you could join us this evening.
Well, thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here. Perfect. Thank you. So yes, thank you so much for having me here. This is actually the first time I've presented to your board, although I am a resident of the Conejo Recreation Park District and have been for almost 25 years now, and a frequent user of many of your facilities. So I'm with the Calleguas Municipal Water District. I'm the general manager there. We are a water wholesaler. So while we don't deliver water to individual customers, you don't pay a bill directly to us. None of the folks here in the gallery do either. We were formed in 1953 by local residents to develop supplemental supplies. Before that, Thousand Oaks was on groundwater, and the groundwater was becoming increasingly poorer in quality in terms of saltiness, and there just wasn't enough of it in order to support what Thousand Oaks has become today. Similar to the Park District, we're an independent special district with a 5-member elected board, and we have 80 employees with an average tenure of 12 years, although we gave somebody a 37-year service award, I think, the other day, and I've been there 21 years myself. As I mentioned, we're a wholesaler, so where the water comes from is actually primarily from Northern California, the Sacramento Bay Delta. We're 100% imported water. That water is delivered to the Metropolitan Water District of Southern California. They're the big giant water wholesaler that serves, we're the northernmost end of their service territory, all the way down to the Mexican border. It's 19 million people in their service area. We then deliver water to 19 retail water purveyors. We serve about 3/4 of the county's population, or 650,000 people. And we do indirectly serve all of your facilities, primarily through the city of Thousand Oaks, Cali American Water Company, and California Water Service Company. Although I did learn at the Ventura County Special Districts meeting on Tuesday out at McRae Ranch that that facility is served by Camrosa, who is also one of our purveyors. So I know water use efficiency has been a real focus of this board and the Conejo Recreation and Park District, and frankly, you've done a fantastic job. I know you have a water conservation report later on the agenda. There are some new regulations coming that will further make conservation a California way of life. They don't directly affect the Park District because there's a couple of different aspects of it. Some of it is for residential and commercial use, and some of it is the elimination of what's called non-functional turf. And so that's turf that's not used for recreation. It's the kind of turf you might see adjacent to a gas station or an industrial park. The only person who walks on it is the person who mows it. It's probably non-functional. All of your turf in your parks is functional. People are using that to play soccer and play with their dogs and run around and all the things they do in the parks here. I know the Park District has done an incredible job of reducing the turf areas to just those areas that are really usable by people. And that has, some of that work has been done with support from Calleguas Metropolitan through turf removal rebates. This was primarily about 10 years ago. There was a big push, but it totaled $1.5 million. So it's not, certainly not inconsequential amount of money saved there. And you've done an amazing job with water conservation devices, planting drought tolerant landscaping. I tend to prefer the term California friendly because I think drought tolerant sounds like it could be uninteresting and it's just a bunch of spiky cacti. But the landscaping that the park district has done at places like Sapwe Trails and other parks is really a great example of some of the vibrant California landscaping, whether that's native or from climates that are similar that thrive here year round. And I know you do use recycled water where that's available, although there is limited availability within your district. And that's resulted in a 1/3 decrease in your water use since 2007, 2008. And I know during that time you have expanded your park resources with great facilities like Page Lane and others that were able to, you enhanced your facilities while using less water. And that's an incredible success story. As you are very aware, back in 2021 and 22, we had some really terrible drought conditions. We're dependent on the state water project. There was allocation 5% back to back. That meant that in this part of the state, we were on basically health and safety water, and we had to reduce watering to 1 day a week for outdoor use. And that was due to the lack of water from the state water project, as well as the Metropolitan Water District had stored water they couldn't physically move to us. The infrastructure simply wasn't there. So we went to 1 day outdoor watering. I know it was very, very important to us and to you and to the community that the parks continued to be watered sufficiently to keep those trees, that grass alive so that people could continue to use that. Fortunately, since then, whoops, guess that's not in this presentation. So since then, there's been some significant improvements made. I'm going to talk a little bit more about what we're doing to make sure that never happens again. After this really terrible period with this drastic cutback, our board really took a hard look at what we do and what we should do. Historically, we've delivered imported water. We have an extensive network of large diameter pipelines and reservoirs and pump stations, but we didn't have our own supplies and our storage was fairly limited. So our board has embarked on a new strategic plan that we call a new model for resilience. And this is really about working with our partners in the community, like City of Thousand Oaks, City of Camarillo, our neighbors, Las Virgenes Municipal Water District, to make sure to work on projects together, collaborative projects that benefit us all in improving our water supply resilience. So to that end, we undertook what we call the Water Resources Implementation Strategy, or WRIST, building on this history of collaboration we have here in Ventura County and kind of expanding our reach beyond our boundaries with the City of Ventura, with Casitas Municipal Water District, to develop a plan to address long-term water supply reliability in the face of a changing climate. As well as the risk of outages, of whether those are scheduled or unscheduled due to infrastructure failure or natural disaster. So we looked at a wide range of projects and considered how they can best serve this area. We did a bunch of different workshops with our various partners. It was really an impressive display. I'd never seen that many water leaders in one room at once in my 21-year career at Calleguas. So not surprisingly, if we just keep doing what we're doing, continue with the status quo, water supply reliability will decline over time, and that is due to changes in precipitation patterns and temperatures. We've relied historically on the snowpack in the Sierras to be our biggest reservoir, and the whole system's been designed around that. But we're getting less precipitation as snow, more as rain. We're having flashier weather where we get lots and lots and lots of rain, and then longer, deeper, drier periods, which is a real challenge because that's not what the infrastructure is designed for. So as I mentioned, we evaluated a range of portfolios, looking, of course, at cost as well as reliability, resilience, and adaptability. We know the future is going to be more challenging, but we don't know exactly what it's going to look like. So we want to make sure that we can pivot to make the right investments and to make changes when circumstances dictate. And then, of course, looking at the risks and uncertainties, whether those are technical, institutional, permitting, or reliability related. So where we've landed is we have a preferred portfolio of projects. They really run the gamut from brackish groundwater desalting to more storage using aquifer storage and recovery, which is basically injecting water in the ground and pulling it out later. Groundwater banks that are outside of the area, recycled water, really everything was on the table. And overall, those projects will provide enhanced reliability, and they can be cost effective because of what we're seeing with the cost of imported water over time. It is going up. But adaptation remains critical. We need to be able to pivot, and we're already in the works on many of these efforts. We're working, I think probably most notably, we're working with 8 of our retailers, including the city of Thousand Oaks, including Cal Water, on a regional brackish desalter study that will help us identify where we can take advantage of some of this brackish, slightly salty groundwater that exists to provide local, reliable water at a cost-effective price. Another thing that we've spent a lot of our capital investment on is interconnections. Historically, water systems have been pretty isolated. They've operated on their own, but we've completed an interconnection with Crestview Mutual Water Company in the Spanish Hills part of Camarillo. It's kind of the westernmost part of our system. That's available for operation most prominently. If you drove down Lindero Canyon Road in the last couple of years, you saw our work on our interconnection with the Las Virgenes Municipal Water District. This is a very large interconnection that is actually an underground pump station. And we worked extensively actually with Rancho Simi Park District on that. They actually granted us the land there to build the project. And we're currently in design on an interconnection with the city of Ventura that will provide us access in emergency conditions to a number of their water sources. They have 5 or 6 different supplies available to them in terms of different groundwater basins, surface water, and then they're developing some potable recycled sources. So once that project's in place, it'll also increase our flexibility and reliability. And I mentioned that one of the problems we had in the last drought was that Metropolitan couldn't move the water to us that they had in storage. So they had the drastic cutbacks that only affected 6 of their member agencies, of which we were one. But since then, they've already undertaken a number of capital improvements that make more water available to us. And they're in the process of implementing a large project. This is a view of the Sepulveda Pass looking north on the 405. And there's a pressure reducing station there up on the hill, kind of below the Getty. You've probably driven by it a bunch of times, never even noticed it's there. And they're going to add a pump station to that. So right now that water flows from north to south. This will enable them to pump that water from south to north and provide us access to resources that we don't currently have access to. So these are the kinds of improvements that will prevent 21-22 from happening again, but our board also wants and is pursuing increased local reliability through the development of local projects. I very much appreciate the very public support that Conejo Recreation and Park District has taken in supporting the Delta Conveyance Project. This is an incredibly critical project. As I mentioned, we're currently 100% dependent on state water project water, and that water does originate in the Sierra Nevada mountains, flows into Lake Oroville, and then flows through the Delta en route to us. It's really kind of a missing piece of the state water project that was never completed during its original construction, and it's morphed over time. The current incarnation is a single tunnel. It'll add additional intake facilities, which will improve operational flexibility to address seismic risk and climate change, as well as address some endangered species issues that limit pumping. The reason this is so important is because if this project were in place, we actually wouldn't have had the problem we had in 21 and 22. There was water available in the system that couldn't be pumped because of endangered species restrictions that limit pumping. If we'd been able to pump that water, we could have captured, this is all in acre feet, which I know is not a unit that normal people use, but water people use it all the time. And it really just means literally an acre of land with a foot of water on it. So visualize a football field with a foot of water on it. It's enough to supply at this point with the level of efficiency that people in Southern California are using their water, 3 to 4 households for a year. So it's, a significant number of households could have been served. Last year, the last water year, that's another weird thing we do in water. We talk in water years, which is October 1st through September 30th, because that aligns with the precipitation season here in California. Almost 1 million acre feet of water was lost that could not be captured because this project wasn't in place. That could have served almost 4 million households. That's huge. That's a huge amount of water. And the Department of Water Resources recently completed a state water project adaptation strategy, which did extensive evaluation and modeling of lots of different options and determined that the Delta Conveyance Project is the single most effective action for California's sustainable water future. So its importance very much underlined here. And as I said, very much appreciate your support. Calleguas has worked very hard, as has the broader water community, to really build a coalition of business and labor and recreation and other entities to highlight how important this project is. And I also just wanted to share, these are actually some photos from our all-employee barbecue we had in October. We held it the first Saturday of October every year because that is Water Professionals Appreciation Week. And as you can see from the photos, we held it in Conejo Creek Park North. It's always been a very popular event. People bring their families, and the kids love being able to play on the playground, look at the turtles in the creek. We bring in a taco truck, and it's just a really good time. So we're not just who delivers your water, we're also a user of your parks. And that's what I have. I'm happy to answer any questions from the board.
Thank you very much. It's a great presentation. I enjoy seeing all those maps and things and realize how far water has to travel to get right here. Appreciate that. Start to my right with Director Cusworth. Do you have
Sure.
any questions or comments?
Thank you very much. I was lucky enough to go on a tour once, and what really impressed me is that they have so many backup systems that there could be a backup in the water or energy going down, because they have to run their pumps to get it to us, and nobody will even know. They've got people there for like 24 hours making sure that water is flowing. And you think of all the thousands of years that people were having to live near water, pump water. We look at these films and people are drinking dirty water and we think, what are they getting sick? How could you drink that water? But we just know we can turn on a tap and we have completely clean water that is safe to drink, because they have a lot of other procedures going in to make sure that that water is clean for us. It's really fascinating. And if none of you ever have gone on that trail, it's off of Herbs Road, kind of on the way to Simi. If you take that trail, you can see Lake Bard, which has an emergency water supply for us. You can't get to the lake. It's like has razor wire everywhere, but you can look at the lake and it's really beautiful. So I want to thank you, because we really would not be surviving here in Conejo Valley in any way, shape, or form if we did not have water. So it's very important that we have you. Thank you so much for coming, and it was a fabulous presentation.
Thank you.
Thank you, Director Orozco.
Thank you, Chair. Again, just thank you so much for the wonderful presentation. I was very upset that I had to miss that tour, so I didn't get an opportunity to tour your facility, but would love to invite myself over to.
Absolutely, yes, yes. Please reach out to me,
Great.
and we'll be happy to arrange something for you and any of the other board members who weren't able to attend that event.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Director Buss.
Thank you so much. It was very informational. I appreciate the presentation. And yeah, Rotary, we go and have a luncheon there every couple of years, I feel like, and you guys just do a great job. I really appreciate you keeping us all informed. Thank you.
Thank you.
And Director Huffer.
I'd just like to add my thanks for the presentation. I know several of us did have the opportunity to tour the facility a few months ago with the Special District Association. And between that and the information you provided this evening, as a homeowner, I figured just turn on my tap and we'll get water. As part of the park district, we assume we turn on the sprinklers and the water will come out. But to see everything that it takes to make that water from our tap or water from our sprinklers happen is a pretty amazing process. So do really appreciate everything that you folks do in supplying the three companies that we actually pay our bills to here in Thousand Oaks. And whatever we can do to support the Delta project, feel free to continue to call on us. So thank you.
Absolutely, thank you.
Yeah, and thank you, Christine, for the presentation and also for your support through the Special Districts Association and other ways that you support the community as well as the Park District. I do recall also going on what I call the water world tours, the two that the Metropolitan offers as courtesy of Callegas. And one thing that I was so impressed by was seeing the size of those pipes coming out of the river and realizing that they had engineered that back in like 1940. And it's,
Even earlier than that. It sounds like you were on the Colorado River tour.
well, I took both of them, but yeah,
Okay.
that's the Colorado River tour. Yeah, I know they had to design it well before that, and I guess it was, built somewhere in that era. But just to think that it's still working and it's still delivering water, takes a little TLC to keep it going. But we're the benefactors of that long. And I know that at your end, you're still, just like some of the projects that you're describing, still having to continue to work that engineering and design and reversing where they once was just gravity flow. Now you got to pump it. It was just fascinating. And I know it costs us a little money in our tax bills and everything else where we have to pay for it, but gratefully we get water as a result of that. But thank you for the presentation and and also for the tours that we've had here locally. We certainly appreciate that. And if we can be of further assistance, let us know.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
And also, I see one of your directors here.
Oh,
so-
yes, I'm sorry. I failed to introduce Director Scott Quady, represents most of Thousand Oaks and Oak Park. He's been on our board for how many years? 16? Yeah, 17 years.
Thanks. Thanks, Scott. Good to see you tonight. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, that concludes our special presentations. And next, I'm going to take the chair's prerogative and move the approval of the agenda in advance of the items from the public. Because I've had a recommendation from staff that we're going to pull item 9B. So that will not be discussed this evening. And I know I've got a number of speaker cards here. So I wanted to give you a chance to speak of the items from the public if you still wanted to, which is why I'm moving that in advance. So with that suggested change in the approval of the agenda, were there any other changes to the agenda for this evening? And if not, a motion to approve with that change to pull item 9B. Yes, Director Huffer.
I will move that we approve the agenda with the removal of item 9B.
Thank you. Do you have a second to that?
I'll second it.
Thank you. Okay, all those in favor say aye. Any opposed? Okay, thank you. So that takes care of approval of the agenda. So next we're going to move to items from the public, and I do have one item, one public speaking card here without an item number. This is Patricia Lowndes, Council on Aging. So please, if you care to take the podium and address the board.
Good evening, directors. My name is Patricia Lowndes, and I'm a commissioner on the city's Council on Aging. I'm here to introduce myself as a liaison to the CRPD board. And my plan is to attend all the board meetings and either in person or virtually, and then report back to our monthly Council on Aging board on any agenda items or actions that would impact older adults in our community. I'd like to extend an invitation to the directors and the public to join our monthly meetings, which are every Thursday afternoon at 1 o'clock. And we are at City Hall in the boardroom. And so you can get an idea of how the Council on Aging is making an impact on the lives of older adults in our community. I will also bring attention to the board and the directors, any items that have been brought up during one of our Council on Aging meetings. And when appropriate, ask for some direction or action or to set an agenda item for one of your meetings. And lastly, I would just like to say, as a regular user of the workout area at the Goebel Center, I am an avid lap swimmer, so I use the community pool and the CLU pool, and I actively participate with my grandkids in a lot of the CRPD events sponsored. So I look forward to meeting you when I have the occasion individually, and then as well as our partnership go forward. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much. It sounds like you're working on reversing the aging process, so thank you very much. Appreciate the information. Okay, so with that, I have a number of cards here who chose to, or would like to have spoken on item 9B. And I'm going to read those off, and if you want to speak to the board, you're welcome to do so. First I have here is Leticia Reynoso. So if you want to speak to the board, you're welcome to do so.
Good evening. My name is Leticia Reynoso, and I'm a local small business owner. And I grew up in the Thousand Oaks community. I've seen our city grow and expand in a very inclusive and a very healthy and caring way. Newcomers and upcoming generations quickly embrace and appreciate our community values. I have very fond memories and feel very proud of our Conejo Valley days, our Conejo Parade, our Chili Cook-Off, and of course the Oak Card Country Music Festival. I am here to share with the Board of Directors what it means to have an event such as the Oak Card the Oak Card Country Music Festival to our community, especially during these past 5 years, which we all have gone through isolation and some loneliness. We're all yearning for an opportunity to connect and socialize with others. This event brings a sense of joy and provides a place where people can relax, enjoy, forget their stress and worries, and reconnect with each other. What an event such as Oak Card does to us community members, when we first hear that Oak Card is taking place, it creates a sense of excitement, anticipation. We look forward to attending this happy gathering where we know we're going to run into people that we care about, but we haven't seen in a while. We all go crazy trying to plan what our wardrobe is going to be. What are we going to wear? Because we want to look our best. We can't wait to make new memories, to visit with friends, to reacquaint ourselves, to laugh a little, distress, enjoy the evening with friends, look forward to making new friends. And I want to remind everyone who attends this event. This event is attended by our co-workers, our neighbors, our children, family members, community leaders, and of course, we look forward to dancing, singing, and just having a great time, all in the convenience of our own Conejo Valley area. For me, and I know for others who also grew up and feel proud of growing up in a community that recognizes that coming together as a community is a positive and healthy way for people to feel part of and have a sense of belonging. It also gives us the identity unique to those of us who live in this community. And
Excuse me,
having,
Leticia, could you wrap up your comments, please?
yeah,
Thank you.
and having, for the people that like the country music and enjoy all these fun community gatherings, what country music does to us and to our souls is something that only we recognize and appreciate. So thank you for taking your time to listening to my sense of having these communities come together.
Thank you, Leticia, for sharing. Always appreciate coming down and addressing the board. And I failed to mention to you, and I didn't want to cut you off, but if you, the rest of the speakers, if you could respect the 3 minutes, we'd appreciate it. Okay, next I have Amanda Vincent.
Good evening, members of the board. My name is Amanda Vincent, and like so many people in this room, I grew up right here in the Conejo Valley. I've watched this community come alive under the summer sun when the music starts and the fields fill, and for one weekend, the world feels just a little bit brighter. That's the spirit of Oakheart Country Music Festival. Oakheart is where neighbors reconnect, where local musicians play their hearts out, and where families spread out picnic blankets to make memories that last a lifetime. It is an event that captures everything we love about living here: community, generosity, and connection. When we lost Borderline Bar and Grill, we lost more than a venue. We lost the heartbeat of a community, a place where people found comfort, friendship, and healing. Oakheart became one of the few spaces where the same spirit could live on. It's where Conejo Valley gathers again, not in grief, but in joy. That's why this new proposal, limiting events like Oakheart only to established service clubs or nonprofits with verifiable history of philanthropy, feels so concerning. The language isn't clear, and without clarity, it risks closing the door on homegrown events that are built by this community and for this community. It's too vague and too open to interpretation. Take Borderline Bar and Grill as an example. Since 1993, Borderline has hosted countless charity events and donated generously to numerous local organizations. By any reasonable measure, Borderline fits the spirit of what's being described: a long-standing charitable organization deeply rooted in this community. But because this proposal doesn't define what qualifies, there's no clear way to prove it. It's widely known that Borderline has been a hub of community giving and connection, but without written definitions, even an organization with that kind of legacy can be excluded. It's not fair, and it's not the spirit of what this district stands for. In 2018, Oakheart donated over $100,000 to charity, a clear and measurable sign that this event gives back directly to the community it serves. This is not an outside production. It's homegrown, fueled by local volunteers, vendors, and residents who care deeply about the Conejo Valley. It showcases local talent and unites people in a way that no policy can measure on paper. And for me, Oakheart is deeply personable. It's where I met my husband. In the middle of the music, under the lights, surrounded by friends and laughter, that's where our story began. And I know there are so many others who have their own Oakheart story too. So tonight, I'm not asking for an exception. I'm asking for an understanding, for the board to pause, to clarify the meaning of this modification, and I know we did tonight, and to make sure that local continues to mean all of us, the dreamers, the doers, and the people who keep this community beating strong. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Amanda. Thank you for your comments. Appreciate that.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay, next is Brian Hines.
Hello, everybody. Although 9B was pulled, 9C, whatever it was, this modification was pulled tonight. That's even more concerning with the vagueness that existed in it, and the fact that now that we've shown up to oppose it, it seems like that's why it was removed instead of voted on. So that is concerning. My name is Brian Hines. I'm a local business owner in the city of Thousand Oaks. In 2011, I came up with the idea to hold a country music festival concert on the 9 soccer fields that are Conejo Creek South. Sourcing together partnerships between Borderline Bar and Grill, the Rotary Club of Westlake Village, and CRPD, I was able to accomplish that goal. That event is known as the Oakheart Country Music Festival. After an admittedly rough start, attendance-wise, it took a few short years for the community to embrace Oakheart wholeheartedly. After the second event, Oakheart had only opened its gates for 2 days of concerts. I came to this board for approval for a third. During that meeting, I was asked, what do you anticipate really giving back to charity if we continue to let you use our soccer fields? I responded, within 5 years, we plan to give $100,000 to charity from just a 1-day event. From 2015 to 2017, we were profitable, we donated. But in 2018, we did just that, over $100,000 to local charities, as promised. During those years, the CRPD board trusted us, meaning the Oakheart team, with the fields I needed to produce that event. We worked together to provide some wonderful things, and I believe it was truly magical. In 2020, Oakheart was canceled due to COVID. Through a series of events since, I stand here today, the sole owner of Oakheart Country Music Festival. In 2024, a local woman excuse me, named Molly Mueller stood here at this podium and she asked the CRPD board to urge the staff to work with her and her following to bring back Oakart, her Oakart, the one she had grown up, the one she had helped grow and grown to love. Now has over 1,400 signatures in support of the return of Oakart. As I believe the agenda item proposed was too vague to be passed here tonight, I am more here with the same hope as Molly expressed. I request the board to talk to the staff and urge the staff to work with us to bring back Oakart. I also make the promise that while producing future Oakarts, I will also understand that there's 51 other weeks in that year that field has to be preserved, and we will do that for you. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Brian. Thanks for coming tonight. Appreciate your comments. Okay, next I have Jeff Losi.
Directors, my name is Jeff Losi. I'm here representing Old Boney Mountain Foundation for Kids and Old Boney Mountain Hot Sauce. We're a local nonprofit based right here in the Conejo Valley. I've been part of this community since 1966. Over the years, I've seen this valley grow, but one thing that's never changed is our strong sense of community. I served as a Rotary Club member for many years and was chairman of Oktoberfest at Conejo Creek Park back in the late 90s, early 2000s. In 2018, 19, and 22, I worked with the Rotary Club of Newberry Park to put on Old Boney Mountain Hot Summer Night at Los Robles Greens to fundraise for our cause. I know firsthand how community events bring people together, support local causes, and strengthen our hometown spirit. Before COVID, our hot sauce company participated in the Oakart Country Music Festival held at Conejo Creek Park. It wasn't just a concert, it was a gathering that helped small businesses, gave nonprofits like ours a platform to raise funds, and brought neighbors together for a weekend of fun and fellowship. Oakart helped us raise money to send local kids to summer camp, fund life skill programs, and offer scholarships to those who earned them. After COVID, when live events were still rare, the promoter of this festival, Brian, generously invited us to take part in private events at no charge, allowing us to continue raising money for the underprivileged, fatherless households, and foster kids. That kind of generosity reflects the heart behind this proposal. It's not just about entertainment, it's about giving back. Modifying very large community events permitted at Conejo Creek should include bringing the Oakart Country Music Festival back to the Conejo Valley. This would create tremendous benefits, including opportunities for nonprofits to raise funds and visibility for community programs, revenue and exposure for local businesses, restaurants, vendors, and service providers all benefit from visitor spending, tourism and tax revenue for the city, and just as important, a renewed sense of community, connection, and pride, something we could all use more of these days. This festival isn't just another event, it's a chance to rebuild a tradition that celebrates who we are as a community, hardworking, generous, and connected. On behalf of Old Boney Mountain Foundation for Kids, I respectfully ask the council to support bringing the festival back to Conejo Creek Park and not developing modifications to exclude it. Oakart will create opportunities, strengthen local partnerships, and bring joy and unity to the people of the Conejo Valley. Thank you for your time and for your service to our great community.
Thank you, Jeff, and thank you for your assistance through your foundation as well. That's the final comment card that I have. Were there any other individuals that wanted to address the board on the items from the public that are not on the agenda? Very good. Okay, if you are online, could you raise your hand so our attendant can enter you into the system? Okay, Travis, you're going to be enabled to speak here momentarily. We're still working, Travis. Hold on.
No problem, sir.
Okay, we see you and we hear you. Please,
Beautiful.
please go ahead.
Meeting
Get 3
director.
minutes, please.
I'll make it short and sweet. I actually turned up tonight. I was unprepared. I just saw this on one of my social media outlets and just wanted to introduce myself. My name's Travis Reville. I've been a resident of Conejo Valley since 1984. I actually find my home bordering Conejo Creek Park South. I raised a wonderful family there, and I definitely want to point out that after reviewing this request for modification, it seems this request was actually focused on preventing Oak Heart from returning to our park. And I would like to voice my support for possibly codifying a guaranteed time structure for Oak Heart to actually return. So I know that we've heard a lot from the community. I can't see the room. I don't know how many people are there in front of you, but it does seem like you've got a large amount of community support. I raise my family. I have 6 children. I plan on raising my 6 children to raise their 6 children in this community. And Oak Heart is definitely something that I want my children growing up in. I want to build memories there. I want to build tradition there. And I do believe that from Brian's explanation, it seems that he would be willing to work with the board on any damages to irrigation systems and protecting the turf for the soccer fields and for other people to use that infrastructure. So if this does pop back up on the board, I definitely would like the board to consider codifying a guarantee that Oak Heart would be able to continue to carry their large community events at Conejo Creek South.
Thank you, Travis. Can we just get your last name for the record, please?
Yes, sir. It's Reville. R-A-V as in Victor, I-L-L-E.
Thank you so much. Thank you for tuning in this evening. Thank you
Yeah,
for
of
your
course.
comments.
Sorry I couldn't make it in person.
That's okay. Thank you. Okay, we'll go to our next online speaker. Ashley Collier, are you able to hear me? And if so, speak up. Ashley, you've been promoted to panelist, so speak up if you can hear me. Ashley, are you there? Ashley, if you can hear me, can you wave or something online so our tech can see that?
Hello.
Is that you, Ashley?
Yes, this is me.
Okay, please go right ahead. You have 3 minutes.
I just wanted, I feel so like, sorry, give me 1 second. So I'm just as brokenhearted as everyone else when it comes to Oak Heart. I'm part of the Borderline community, and Oak Heart was a place where I could come after Borderline closed and really join the community and be closer to it. It's a place where we get to feel one and united and be very close to each other versus any other day. And it's just a really day where the community gets to come closer and lean on each other and really bring like the nonprofits and where everyone just gets to be one and be close to each other. And that's all we want in the community of Thousand Oaks and community of Borderline, is just to feel one again with country music, our family, our community, and our friends.
Thank you very
And
much.
so I hope that you guys reconsider and bring a place that we love and that we call home and really be a community. I hope you guys reconsider, because it's really hard for us without Borderline, and we go with other
venues to be closer and to be closer with Thousand Oaks, but also the community. And so I really hope you guys reconsider because that's a place where I volunteered and worked for many years, but also been a concert goer and just gone for fun. And so it would be really a shame for the community not to have that, especially after we've lost so much with Borderline and all the other shootings and everything that we go through every day.
Thank you. Thank you for your comments, Ashley. Okay, do we have another member from the public to speak? I'm sorry, what was the name again? Ness? Ness, I think you're being promoted to panelist. If you can hear me, if you can speak up, please. Ness, are you there? Ness, I'm not hearing anything. Are you there? Oh, okay. I guess declined, okay? Okay, we have a Zoom user. If that's you, or if there's someone else out there still wanting to speak, if you could wave your hand so our tech can see your response. Oh, they've also declined. Okay. All right, is there anybody else online that wishes to speak? Could you please wave your hand so we can see you're there? Okay, we see none. Okay, well, just in case, we do have another option at the very end of the meeting too, if you want to wade through the hole. Okay, that concludes items from the public. As I had mentioned, we pulled that item, so we're not going to be able to discuss it, but I do want to thank you for your comments. It will be part of the public record, and obviously we heard what you had to say, and the board members will take that into consideration if and when this item comes back up again. All right, so we will move on to the consent calendar, approval of the minutes and the warrants. If there's any changes or comments, I'd like to hear those. If not, a motion to approve.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent calendar A and B.
I'll second.
Thank you. A motion is second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, that passes. We have no deferred matters. We have no items for discussion. So if Madam Clerk, could you please read into the record item 9A?
Yes, item 9A, annual update to Conejo Recreation and Park District's water conservation plan.
All right, thank you. And Director Mooney, I know you've been waiting patiently, but thank you. So we're looking forward to your follow-up to our presentation from the Water District.
All right, thank you, Chair Nichols, members of the board. As you're aware, we do an annual water conservation plan. So again, yeah, Calleguas was very, very nice to us. We do take water conservation very, very seriously. And that shows through our efforts over the past decade and a half or so of the reduction, the conservation efforts, and basically this annual report updates, basically looking at the current year, but then the past years. So we've been doing this for some time. It's really kind of part of our DNA when it comes to park development, whether that's interior space or exterior space, with what plumbing fixtures we're using, decisions, how much grass, all that good stuff. And so just kind of big picture for this past year, we had a water target of 503. We're 27.63% below that water target. So we continue to strive for that, even in a dry year. I think we had about five inches of rain total this past fiscal year, not water year, because we do it for pennies, not following the actual water year that the state and our water suppliers follow. However, we do look at that. And then just kind of the big picture going all the way back to fiscal year 2007, 2008, and comparing what we just did for fiscal year 24-25. We've had a 34.38% decrease in water. So we continue to take it very seriously. Most likely, we're probably heading into a little bit of a dry spell. We had two really good years, 2 fiscal years ago. This past fiscal year, a bit drier, as I mentioned. And I went in quite a bit of detail in January, I believe. I brought the water conservation report to the board. So going to breeze over it unless you guys have more detailed questions, but it's really the annual update based on the percentages and such. I gave you the big numbers, but then over time, the district has saved over 1.4 million units of water. So to equate that to gallons, right? So we can understand it. It's over 1 billion gallons. It's actually approaching 1.1 billion gallons, which is pretty awesome. And Melissa Smith will appreciate this. We've saved about $10 million in water because of those efforts. And that's based on the current average water rate per year saved, right? So that's kind of a rolling tally for each fiscal year. And we continue to strive to be able to make conservation efforts just from how we maintain our parks, with how much we're using, are all of the technologies that have been established. Again, that's part of our DNA, and that's what's helping us save some money. So we're spending a little bit of money, but we're also saving a lot of money as water rates change and just costs go up just for all of our expenses. So with that, I'm available for questions.
Thank you very much. We have questions? Yes, Director Huffer.
Not so much a question as a comment. The fact that over time, we've spent a bit over $5 million in all of our various water saving projects and saved over $10 million. So I think that's pretty good return on our money. So thank you for what you've been doing and what you can continue to do.
Thank you. Yes, Director Buss.
Yes, I just want to basically reiterate that as well. I think that's a great ROI on that investment of $5.5 million, and you're doing a wonderful job. Thank you.
Thank you. Director Orozco.
Thank you, Chair. Yeah, I'd love to also reiterate those sentiments of appreciation for the amount of work that's gone into to conserving our water and making sure that we're still providing wonderful and beautiful parks. And so I feel like when it comes to that, we really haven't compromised on functionality and beauty in the quality of our parks. Random question, and I'm sure that it's somewhere, but I wasn't able to find it. The 503 units per acre. How did that metric get set? Where does that come from?
So that was set when this plan was developed. So it's basically kind of like a carrying capacity amount. So just from the level of typically a lot of our acres are turf acres, right? And that's the most water we put down for turf acres. But we also have other acreage that takes less water. So that figure was come up to be able to maintain proper level of turf, but then also proper level of other vegetation throughout the park system.
Got it. Thank you.
Director Cuthbert.
Yes, the one thing that I really appreciated is that you've taken out turf, but you planted a lot of beautiful plants. And somewhat as Christine mentioned, a lot of California natives, things that look beautiful. I've even had people ask me what plants are in there. They want to put them in their yard. So I appreciate that, and I hope that that effort is continuing to continue. I know that you've had a plan to go to different parks and continue putting in the landscaping, because some of the landscaping on our parks is outstanding, especially in places where you don't really need grass. And I think the landscaping can be just as beneficial for, creating peace, creating beauty, and everything that we have in our parks. One question I have is for Page Lane. You put in drought tolerant grass there, and I've noticed it does survive. Sometimes it looks quite dead, but it just seems to continue to be surviving. It turns kind of a light green, and it never shows dirt even when it's yellow. So how much water are you saving on that drought tolerant model? Is it working the way that you thought? Is it growing the way that you thought? Is it acting in the mode that you predicted when you put it in?
Yes.
Yes, okay.
So yeah, and so that's something that actually was the largest installation that the district has done. It was just under about 3 acres of warm season grass, and so it goes dormant. So it goes kind of to sleep during the cooler months. And so, but then it does come back. It's still living. It just looks a little dead in the winter months. And I think because we have a little bit more narrower cool season, that helps a lot. Staff has been really happy with how it's been able to be maintained through the season. It's been 3 years now since we built the park. It's been two winters with the turf in the ground, actually. And so it's been functional. The neighborhood and the community has been really happy with it. So yeah, so yes is my answer.
So do you think that in the future, that type of grass might be used again?
Correct. Yeah. So if we ever did a large, like a large playfield renovation or a new park that would have a large patch of grass, we would typically use that species or whatever the latest product would be, because that's a whole other science with sports turf, with golf courses and sports facilities like the Rose Bowl and such. They're constantly refining hybrids for that type of species of grass.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you. You know, the first 30 years of my life, I spent in Northern California. And that was in the Bay Area. And the Bay is always there. In the North Coast, Humboldt County, they get rain in the summer up there and fog and everything else. And then in Redding, where it's quite dry, but you got Lake Shasta and lots of way. I never gave a thought about where water came from because the water was just always available. It's always raining. And amazingly, the rivers actually have water in them up in Northern California. And then I moved to Southern California and it just kind of whole different perspective where rivers don't have water in them. And I started wondering, where did the water come from? So to see something like this where we actually make a concentrated effort to conserve water, because I know it's a very precious resource and it takes a lot to get it from where it originates to where we need it here in Southern California, that we can do whatever we can to make sure that we preserve what of that valuable resource. I know the price is not going to go down. It's only going to go up. So yeah, it's an economic benefit as well. But I think just because it's a limited resource, we need to do whatever we can. So appreciate the effort on staff as well, you know, and that goes from the right down to the groundskeeper, you know, people on the ground doing the work. And then, you know, the people in the office trying to plan all that ahead and then working with our fellow agencies as well. But thank you for your team's effort to make that happen and appreciate that.
And one thing to add too with that is really the staff. You know, it is the day to day. We do have attrition, just like myself. You know, I've been able to promote within the organization. Park superintendent retired this past year. Patrick brings new, different knowledge, understanding, and so implementing and practicing different things and looking at different technologies, as well as the irrigation tech that the board put in place about 10 years ago. That individual retired, Joe Dodge, and so we had Billy Sosa replaced him. It was an internal candidate, and so it's bringing fresh ideas, technology. Not that the other folks didn't have that, but it's continuing to learn, right? So it's a learning curve because the costs aren't going down. The need is, if anything, going up because there's more people here that we need to provide parks for. So I definitely want to commend staff for that as well. So.
It's obvious because we see the work out there, so thank you. Okay, we do have a recommendation from staff here, so does anyone care to make that recommendation as a motion? Director Buss?
I'll make a recommendation that we review and approve the annual update report on the district's water conservation plan.
And I'll make a second to that.
Thank you. We have a first and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, thank you. That moves through. Okay, Madam Clerk, would you please read into the record item 9C, please?
Yes, item 9C, Conejo Valley Days 2026 Annual Agreement and Permit Conditions, Conejo Creek Park.
Thank you very much. And let's see, Director Mooney, if you would care to present the staff report, please.
Thank you, Chair Nichols, members of the board. So staff is bringing back Conejo Valley Days event permit. Very similar to past years, basically exactly the same, just the calendar kind of changes a little bit. But it's the same term of the event, same startup, same breakdown. Staff has been working with Sarah Akery the past 2 years now of setting up this event, which has been great. with communication and making sure that they can put on this good event. We do have two items as this recommendation, one with the event permit, but two with CEQA. So this does not change from historical use of what the park sites have been used for. This does look a little different in your board report from past years. We had some like website links and for newspaper articles and some staff estimates and stuff. But for the exemption, it's a class 23 categorical exemption from CEQA. And it's because it's kind of normal operations of existing facilities. So we've been doing this for many years at that park site. Staff with the help of Placer AI was able to put together a new chart. It's on page 82 of your report, and both event items have it, but it has the visitation. One thing that's tough with the visitation is it's not so much just people coming to have fun. It also anyone dropping off that's on the property as well as folks working. So you can kind of see that these numbers are a little bit larger, and then there are kind of holes in some of the data where it just wasn't available. So, but based on past years of what use has happened on the park, staff still recommends that CEQA exemption for it. We do have exclusive use at the facility. So on page 82, it kind of outlines that as well. And so it's pretty standard where they would be setting up for 3 days, an event for 10 days, breaking down for 2 days. And so it spans 2 weekends through mid-June to the end of June. And I do have Sarah Acree here to speak on behalf of Conejo Valley Days, talking about the event, from the success from last year's event to what they're looking for today. So, or for next year, sorry. So if Sarah would like to join us at the podium and share a couple words. And then we'll both be available for any questions.
Welcome, Sarah. Thank you for being here.
Hello, thank you for having me. So my name's Sarah Acree. I am president of Conejo Valley Days for the past year now, past a year and a half about. This year is going to be our 70th anniversary. So we're really looking forward to that and keeping this event alive. We have so many special things that we do at Conejo Valley Days. We are a celebration of nonprofits. We are a nonprofit. We are dedicated to keeping the prices low for the community so we can have just a fun, family-friendly environment and keep it safe for everyone. We do host a special kids event where we invite those with families and special needs to come on our cost. We do have first responders, active military, all of that is free entry. We also do programs for the kids where we do read and ride programs to promote reading and education for kids, and so they can do good in school and then they can come and ride and get in for free. And it's just exciting for them. They really look forward to that at the end of their school year. We hold space for other nonprofits at no cost to be able to spread awareness and make their own money as well. Conejo Valley Days is just a really special part of our community, and I am so grateful to be continuing this and just keeping our event alive. This past year, we raised over $100,000, just us, and we put all of that back into our event to make it awesome. And we also have other nonprofits that were able to raise their own money and awareness. We have not raised our prices since I have seen. So Conejo Valley Days has stayed the same price. I think we're the only event actually around who hasn't raised our prices. Pretty much the more we make, we want to keep it as low as we can. So if we make more money, we lower our prices, or we do something else to give back. So yeah, I would love to answer any questions from the board or whatever you have. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions for yes, Director Buss?
I don't have any questions, but I will say that I came this year and I brought 7 middle school girls. They had a blast. We went at night this time because last year we went at like 2 o'clock on a Saturday, And yeah, I just think, I ended up seeing a bunch of friends from high school who were there with their kids as well. I just think it is a nice event to take our kids who can't drive yet and are in that space where there's not a lot for them to do. So I do appreciate you putting in the work to do this because I know it's a lot of work to run an event and I can't even imagine a multiple day event. But yeah, so I do appreciate it, even though it's not exactly what I remember as a kid, but I still think it's nice that we have this space for the kids who are, teenagers to elementary school. I think
Thank
that
you.
they really enjoy it. I mean, it's just like I have to go to all the amusement parks and do I really want to go to them? No, but my kids do, right? So I just appreciate you taking on the work and continuing it.
Thank you.
Thanks.
We are trying to keep all of the traditions alive in Conejo Valley Days. We are a little bit limited with being in the parking lot. So I think if we there's a lot of things that I've been looking at that I really want to keep for, like you said, there's not as much to do for the teenagers who maybe don't want to go on all of the kiddie rides and whatnot. So we do have, we're promoting line dancing. We do have like a lot of fun games that are free in the front. We're trying to do like more cornhole, more of the lawn games. And we were able to bring back the firefighters this year. So we had the firefighters there doing their booth, and they are a local nonprofit as well. So, yeah, so stay tuned.
Any other questions for Sarah? Yes, Director Huffer.
Am I remembering correctly that last year you were dark for 3 days during the week, but now you're going through the entire 11-day period?
So, no, so we are dark Monday and Tuesday. So we go from Thursday to Sunday, and then we go again from Wednesday to Sunday.
Okay, well, I guess our packet said you were closed at 10 PM Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So
Okay.
you're not going to be there Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday?
Monday, Tuesday, we are closed. Yeah, Wednesday, we are open from 5 to 10 on the second Wednesday. The first week, we open on Thursday.
Okay. And then just a request, a comment and a request. When you guys were using the fields way back when, you always did a great job of making sure everything was cleaned up, which was nice for the next year of soccer, because I've been involved with soccer for years and years.
Thank you.
And from what I've seen, that by the time you've cleared out of the parking lot, everything was pretty well cleared up as well, other than maybe a few grains of hay. Just one request though, because I'm involved with a program that spends a lot of time in the meeting room there. And the last couple of years, there's been some stuff left over in that meeting room, which, I mean, somebody from staff gets rid of, but it would be helpful if you could just make sure that there's nothing left in the meeting room when you guys are complete there.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, Director Roscoe.
I just want to say thank you so much for your guys' commitment to not only keeping these traditions alive and running for future generations, but also your commitment to keeping it affordable and accessible for all community members. So thank you. I really appreciate that.
Director Cussworth.
And I guess I'll just add my appreciation also. Yeah, Conejo Valley Days was a big part of my family when my children were young. So thank you for keeping up, even though you are now having to be in a little bit more of a limited space. At least you have a lot of the fun going on. So it's great for our community. Thank you.
Yeah, and thanks for the explanation. Thanks for being here, and thanks for your ongoing participation and helping to make our community what it is. And pass along our best wishes to your father as well.
I will. Thank you.
I do have one speaker card from the public, Jeff Long. Jeff here? Yeah, please, come up to the podium. Well, look forward to hearing your comments.
Good evening, board. Thank you for having me. I'm here to speak on behalf or in support of the application for Conejo Valley Days as well. My name's Jeff Long. I'm over 50-year resident of the Conejo Valley. I'm a business owner here in the Conejo Valley as well. Tonight, I just wanted to talk about the upcoming 70th anniversary of the Conejo Valley Days and its long-standing importance and contributions to the community. Conejo Valley Days has been a Conejo Valley tradition for 7 decades now, which is a long time, as we all know, with games, local vendors, fun, food, and carnival rides. It is not the same that we had back when we were kids, but we are doing what we can do with an increased population and having to be condensed down into the parking lot area. We still put on a great event every year. We get a lot of accolades, and we see a lot of families returning time and time again. Sarah and I have pretty much the same speaking points here. We have not raised the prices of Conejo Valley Days since the 80s. I believe it was 1984 is what I was told was the last time there was a price increase. $10 to get in. It's not too much money. It was a lot of money maybe back then, but not today. So we're trying to keep it affordable so that everybody can come in and enjoy. Conejo Valley Days is a nonprofit, and we also promote nonprofits to come in for free to promote their causes as well. We don't take anything from the nonprofits. They take all the money that they raise, they take with them. So it's another good reason to have this event. Is not only for Conejo Valley Days and the nonprofit in the community, but it's also great for the other nonprofits to come in and fundraise for themselves. I know personally, I got involved with Conejo Valley Days about 15 years ago. I started off fundraising for nonprofits with the Boy Scouts. From the Boy Scouts, I moved into the Medical Explorers. We did fundraising for them. And with the Medical Education Foundation was another nonprofit that I'm chairman on. We raised a lot of money. Most of our money for all 3 of those causes were raised at Conejo Valley Days. That actually we were able to use money all through the year just from that one event, because it's a 10-day event or 8 days working event. We make a lot of profit or a lot of money for the nonprofit for all those. A lot of local vendors like to come out to Conejo Valley Days and promote their products, and it's just a great event for the community. Although Conejo Valley Days has become smaller over the years due to the event being regulated to stay in the parking lot, it's been successful to keeping its hometown feel and traditions alive. And Conejo Valley Days is also one of the safest events of its size. This is due to the event layout, fire codes, on-site medics, and most importantly, the security provided by the Ventura County Sheriff's Department and our paid private security. I would like to thank them for their service. They're not here tonight, but they do a fantastic job every year keeping everybody safe.
If you could please wrap up, Jeff.
Okay, I think that's all I have.
Okay,
Okay, thank you.
thank you. Okay, board, is there any questions either of our speaker or Sarah or of our director? And if not, we have a recommendation from staff with 2 items on it. If anyone would care to make that motion. Director Huffer?
Yes, I'd like to move approval of staff recommendations. 1, that this is categorically exempt from CEQA, and 2, to authorize the general manager to execute the CVD agreement for 2026.
Thank you. Do we have a second for that?
I'll second it.
All right, Director Buss. All right, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay, that motion carries. Okay, next, Madam Clerk, if you could please read into the record item 9D.
Yes, item 9D, Thousand Oaks Rotary Club Chili Cook-Off and Craft Brew Festival 2026 Annual Agreement and Permit Conditions, Conejo Creek Park.
Thank you. Director Buss?
Before we move forward, since I am the chair of this event, I'm going to recuse myself from voting on this. So let me know when you're done.
Thank
I'll
you.
be outside.
All right, very good. Don't go too far because we still need you for the rest of the agenda. Okay. And with that, we'll carry on with the report. So Director Mooney, if you want to introduce this for us, please.
Thank you, Chair Nichols, members of the board. So similar to the last item, 2-part recommendation. 1 is the CEQA determination. So similar to that, same chart was added to this report from the prior exhibit from past years. So historically, the existing facilities. This would be normal operations to hold an event such as this under that class 23 categorical exemption. The event, again, very, very successful event from past years. The event would be at Conejo Creek North on Sunday, May 3rd, one day only. They would be using Conejo Creek South for parking for that one day. And so it would just be the initial, it would just be that one day for the event. It runs from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. is the actual event on that Sunday. Very successful event. Definitely had benefit for the public. I think they, and correct me if I'm wrong, Nelson, but about $62,000 last year to Rotary charities, I believe. So.
10,000 sponsorships to volunteers.
All right, so 80 plus thousand is what I'm hearing. All right. But with that, Mr. Nelson Buss is here to tell us about the event, and then we are both available for any questions after.
Very good. Thank you, Nelson. We'll look forward to your comments.
Hi, I am Nelson Buss, a 37-year resident of Thousand Oaks now. This will be the 49th year for the chili cook-off, so it predates me by a little bit. Last year was actually one of our smallest years. We got the 5 inches of rain the day before that we got last year. So it was a relatively quiet year. Only 10,000 people showed up. We did raise $70,000 that went to over 80 local nonprofits. There's additional 10,000 that we give to. Turns out Rotary Club has a number of people who are older and our backs aren't as good as they used to be. So we do ask volunteer agencies for assistance, and we pay their charity instead of them. Probably the most important thing about our organization is Thousand Oaks Rotary doesn't have anybody that's paid for this event. Nobody makes any money. In fact, we pay for the privilege to volunteer that day in our memberships to our club. I do want to give a shout out to the Kiwanian on your board. The Brew Festival part of the chili cook-off was added on about 6 years ago, and that is an idea I liberally stole from them, and I appreciate them so much because it added a dimension to our event that has been huge. Other than that, we haven't changed our prices in 6 years, mostly because of the format changes that we had. We have a kids zone, which is free for children. Attendance for children is free to our event. We just try to raise a ton of money in feeding people chili and serving them alcohol and then getting them home safely because it's a Sunday and it's a work day the next day. And I'm open to any questions you have.
Thank you very much. Okay, any board members, any questions of Nelson Buss or Director Mooney? Okay, thank you. Okay, seeing no questions, we do have a recommendation from staff that has 2 items. If anyone would care to make a motion for those, yes, Director Cusworth.
So I make a recommendation that we determine that the Thousand Oaks Rotary Chili Cook-Off and Craft Brew Festival for 2026 is categorically exempt from the California Environmental Quality Act, CEQA, and authorize the general manager to execute the chili cook-off agreement for 2026.
Very good, thank you. Do you have a second to that?
I'll second.
All right, thank you. All right, we have a first and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, thank you very much. Thank you for being here this evening. And if somebody could recruit our missing board member, I'd appreciate it. Thank you very much. All right. Welcome back.
You guys voted in.
You'll have to watch the whole video to find out.
I'll go watch the highlight.
Okay, next is item 10, reports and announcements. We have a packet full of information that's there for your pleasure. Were there any questions and comments of staff on any of those items? I did have one comment, and I couldn't help but think about this when I was reading the Haunted Trail paragraph. You were there, I was there. But it says 2,000 people. And I couldn't help but think about Placer AI when I saw that number, because when I was looking around, I could hardly find an adult in the crowd. And I know there were a lot of kids that were not of cell phone age, just canvassing the whole place. And so I thought, okay, that's probably one of those events where we're probably not going to get an accurate count of, how many people are actually there. You're just going to have to kind of wing it a little bit. But I will say that the trunk or treat line was packed when I got there at 6 o'clock and stayed that way till 9 o'clock. So it was very popular. And so I don't know how many people went through a second or third time, but it was busy. But yeah, 2,000 people, I mean, it seems like it could easily be more than that. But anyhow, it was a fun event. We were there, had a lot of fun. Yes, Director Cussworth.
Yes, this year we got in line for the trunk or treat at about 5:45 because the line is always so long. So my grandkids opted, we're going to go early, and then they were able to get first in line to all of the games. So they really look forward to it. It was a great event. And I think, yeah, I even had my younger grandkids there too. Everybody had a good time. So, and my husband even commented, which I guess probably, funny. He was looking around, he goes, I'm so glad that we have a park department that puts on events just like this for the community. This is fabulous. So it was really nice.
Okay, you're seeing no other hands for comments on that. We'll take this to department reports. We'll start with item 11A, our Parks Division.
Thanks, Chair Nichols, members of the board. Just a quick update. We do have about 3 projects that are currently in process for permits. And so no great news yet, good news. We're making progress on them. So Tabitha, myself, as well as other park staff has been coordinating and our consultant teams for Borchard Skate Park. We're getting really close for that. And then also for Conejo Community Phase 1, so the restroom and the parking lot redo there. And then we do actually have some permits for Crawley to fix some structural repairs there. So we've been talking to some contractors and taking a look at estimates and such. So we might, depending on cost, bring that back to the board, or we might not have to do that. So, but just wanted to give you an update that we're pushing some paper so we can hopefully dig some holes and get some capital done here in the coming months and year. So, okay, but I'm available for questions.
Questions? Yes, Director Cussworth.
So I know you've been trying to get the permits for the Crowley House for quite a long time. So are you saying you're making progress on that and the city's letting you go through with getting contractors' bids and moving
Correct.
forward?
Yeah, so we've secured the structural permits to fix it because we had some sagging issues and some structural stability issues in the building. And then so now it's going to take a look, how much is this going to cost? What kind of process do we have to go through? That's the next step.
So you said it might not be enough that you have to come to the board with that. So it would be perhaps an under $60,000.
Technically under 75,000
Okay.
is Jim's authority, the general manager's authority.
Okay.
But yeah, so we would just have to kind of assess that.
Okay, but keep us updated. I'm interested in the building. So thank you.
Will do.
Any other questions? This is a question on Borchard Park. Is that a work requirement for the park district to provide more information, or is that waiting on the city to process, or a combination of both?
A combination of both. So we've done a couple different reviews. It's really kind of at the building and safety level. So just meeting current building requirements and making sure we're covering all the bases, whether it's structural calculations to proper certification for materials, that type of stuff. Okay. So like it's normal stuff, but yeah,
Okay.
permits are always fun. is how I say it, but yep. So
Not, yeah. Okay, thank you. Recreation Division.
Thank you, Chair Nichols, members of the board. Just a couple of updates. I saw several of you guys at the Day of the Dead event, and we had approximately 2,000 people there per Placer AI. So, and then Aquatics had a pumpkin splash event. That was one of their biggest events so far, with playing in the pool with the pumpkins, and they had about 100 people that attended that. This Saturday, the rec band is at the Stagecoach Inn from 11 to 1, and they're doing Crazy Chemistry. And then just to put it on your calendar, December 5th is going to be a movie at the park at Thousand Oaks, and it's going to be Home Alone. So a fun one to take the kids to, or nieces or nephews. So and with that, I'm available for questions.
Any questions? I see none. Thank you. Management Services.
Thank you, Chair and board members. We are 95% done with our audit. We have like a few more numbers just to crunch with the auditors, but it's going really well. So I want to give a shout out to Loretta and our finance team. And we're going to have our finance and audit committee meeting next week to review, hopefully a final, maybe an almost final draft. But whatever I have that day, I'll be able to give to you then. And I'm hoping it's going to be a final because we're really close. And so having the audit done in this before January is huge for us. So that's my update, and I'm available for questions.
Thank you. Questions of Ms. Smith? All right, seeing none. General Manager's report. Do you have a?
I would be happy to fill in for that
I-
tonight. I
I-
have two things for you
just
guys.
make up
that-
whatever you want.
Whatever I want. Let's see. No, Jim asked me to share with you, Reign of Terror is over for the holidays, and Bruce came by and dropped off a very generous donation of $40,000.
Wow, very nice. Okay.
So actually that puts him up to over $500,000 that
Wow.
he has donated, him and Mary,
Wow.
the group,
Mhm.
the nonprofit has donated to CRPD over the years.
Mhm.
So of that 40, we do have some bills that we have to pay. We pay for the security and do some marketing. But other than that, Hillcrest Center for the Arts and our teen center will split the rest of it. And so
very
it's
nice.
really a wonderful thing that they continue to do
Mhm.
for us. So that was great.
Do we
And
know yet whether they're going to be able to do that next year?
from what Bruce was saying, he's expecting to be able to do it next year. So he said there's a really cool section that looks like the bayou and that we need to go through. I said, great, invite us. Lights on only though. No dark, no dark.
I'll do it.
Well, I did it with the lights on and it was, but the other thing, just as a reminder, and you'll probably either get an invite or you already have an invite, Starlight Ball is coming up, so make sure you RSVP to that, so.
Okay,
That's it.
thank you very much. And our general managers in Sacramento for a couple of days.
Mhm.
Okay, thank you. All right, we have directors directors reports. Start with Director Huffer.
All right, a number of things. At least a couple of us were at the inauguration for John Nunes, the now official president of Cal Lutheran. And he is such a dynamic guy. He's going to be great for the university there. I did go to the haunted trail, though I did not actually walk the haunted trail, but got a chance to watch the costume contest, which is always so cute with those little kids and the families all dressed up, and it was a great event. I sort of walked the opposite direction just to see what was going on with the trunk or treat. And that was a long line,
Mhm.
but it helps to know that you get there ahead of time, right? So you.
I've been going a few years.
We had a committee meeting, Director Cussworth and I, for the large events committee, which will be discussed at a future date. Doug and I had a Casca board meeting, which was really informational. It was a special meeting dedicated to talking about fire control, fire prevention that's going on in the community. And we had several representatives from Ventura County Fire Department there discussing what they were doing. So I did make the comment there. I was a little concerned with all the wind we had that night with all these firefighters here, but nothing happened. But that was a very useful meeting. I did go to, I think it was Sunday the 1st, was November 1st Sunday, something like that. Anyway, I went to the Dia de los Muertes, which I never can pronounce properly, but that's always a neat event. And to watch some of the teenagers performing on stage was really impressive. So that's a fun event. I don't think we had quite the turnout since that happened to be the Game 7 of the World Series, so it wasn't, maybe a little lighter than past years, which actually worked out because I was able to find a parking place this year. Year before, I ended up parking illegally across the street because there was absolutely nothing available.
Oh, my gosh.
Can you erase that off the tape, please? And then several of us were at the Ventura County Special District Association meeting at McCray Ranch. And I want to commend Nellie for the great job that she's doing as president of the organization. You know, with having different venues and tours, the attendance at this year's meetings have probably been double what we had been seeing in prior years. So congratulations on doing such a great job with that, Nellie.
Dr. Buss?
Okay, so I did go through Reign of Terror and it was with the lights off and I am such a chicken and it was actually really fun, I have to say. At the end of it, I was like, that was really fun. So I think we can do it with the lights off.
Yeah, take Michelle with you next year.
And that Bayou part is awesome. I will say there was a lot of it where I was like, let's go. And then, yeah, I did run into a wall at one point though, as well. Well, you're in a smoke room and it's like a strobe light. And then I'm like, and that's a wall, not a door. So I think we can all do it though with the lights off. So I went to the last ETI horse show at the equestrian park. It was awesome. They do a really nice job. And I think it's so wonderful that there is how affordable it is for these families to participate in equestrian because, you know, I am also in the other world of equestrian, which is it's just ridiculous. So I think it's great that these kids get to get out there and have a good time on their horses. That was, and then the next day I was at the street fair. I chalked the street at 5 a.m. And then came back with all the middle schoolers and we did more community service of cleaning it all up. But, you know, I was there waiting to help people load their cars and I realized we should all go there and Christmas shop. Like there's so many random like tchotchke things that I was like, you would never think to buy them, but you're like, oh my gosh, this would make like a good present for so-and-so or something. Like it's just so many random gifts. So I was like, that was a missed opportunity, but it was well attended again. And then I went to the last women's CLU soccer game. That was really fun. It was their last home game that I went to. And what else? My 16U soccer team, we are done. You know, 3 of them are going to be moving on to hopefully play high school. I try to encourage all of them to try out that are my high schoolers. You know, there's only one player that won't be on my team next year if they all come back. And I reminded them of that when I took them to laser tag and I kicked their butts in laser tag. So, you know, that's what a good coach is for. I paid for them all to go and then I beat them. So hey, they're faster than me now, so I had to get them some way. But still, 12U, we are still going strong. Okay, we are playing the second place team on Saturday. I think it's going to be rough, but we are going to go out there and play our best. So it's super fun. But yeah, it's coming to an end, and I have to say, I already missed my 16U girls. So that's what my day has been consumed with, or my time. So
I intentionally did not sign up to referee your game, so I hope you appreciate that.
well, I would. Livia likes to yell at you on the field. She's always like, Chuck, that was not a good call. I'm like, Livia, you can't say that. He's the ref. But yeah, so that's
Getting ready for the pros.
oh my goodness, right?
Director Orozco.
Let's see. I too attended the Dia de los Muertos event, which was so lovely and amazing. Staff did a wonderful job. I know that I brought a friend and her kids had such a fun time decorating the sugar skulls that were there, and we watched the folklóricos and of course the just seeing all the community there, it was a good time. And then on November 2nd, I attended the Open Mosque Day at the Islamic Center of the Conejo Valley. That was really lovely. And then I too went to the VCSDA dinner meeting hosted at McRae Ranch. And it was actually the first time that I had an opportunity to walk through McRae Ranch and get like a formal tour with the docents and got to learn a lot. And it was really lovely. So thank you for that.
Director Cussworth.
So I don't think I ever need to go to a girls' soccer event because we get a very nice update every month from Director Buss. I feel like I'm part of the soccer community between the two of you over there. So, as far as VCSDA goes, I really want to have a shout out to Michelle over at Conejo Community because she and her team set the whole thing up. The tables had decorations. It was beautiful. And then Raquel, on top of being our administrative assistant and having to check everybody in and being there to set up, she also took care of all the food because CRPD was hosting this. So, so it has been rewarding to see VCSDA doing really well, but this would not be happening if it wasn't for Raquel also. So I appreciate you congratulating me, but she is the person behind the computer who is really doing a lot of organizing. So thank you for that. And it did go very well. We had 4 docents who volunteered to come and give those tours. And I wondered if anybody was even going to come an hour early to go on the tours, but I think most of the people came. And a lot of them have never been there before. And that's a lot of nice PR for Ventura County on, you know, what we're doing. Jim gave an excellent presentation on having partnerships with the community. So that was fabulous. And that was actually something on our survey that people said that they wanted to learn about how to make partnerships with community members and with other city governments. With CRPD has done a fabulous job in so many ways that it was really, we were the right ones to be doing that lecture. And Jim did a fabulous job, as he always does. And I was at the Reign of Terror. I went with the lights on. Now I've gone with the lights off. And when you go with the lights off, you are in a crowd of people. You know, like you're just very close together walking through. Is that how it was for you when you went? It was like you're pretty close to people.
No, we had space.
Well, when you're with lights on, there's nobody there. And you really see how gruesome it is. And you don't know even how to get out really. And it's pretty disgusting. So I think it was less scary maybe with the lights off because I couldn't see it all. Now, I don't remember seeing the bayou part though. Did you go on the official?
On the lot done.
It wasn't on the lights on. So you just saw it when they were building it? Oh, you haven't seen it? Because I got through it all and I said, I don't think I saw everything. And they said, no, you didn't. And so I was like, okay, well, I guess for the price I paid, I can't expect to see the whole thing. But yeah, no, it's pretty scary. I mean, it's really gross when you see the lights on, but I appreciate them doing this. I mean, this seems to be something that people really do enjoy. So, and they do help us out so much. And I think that's, oh, the Dia de los Muertos, we've been going there. And one thing that I enjoyed that they did this year, I talked with Tim Doerr and he said they may do an outreach with other community members because for Safe Passage and the 2 high schools inside the gym, they had some smaller ofrendas besides the really big one. And I know that, you know, the community partners that I'm working with would probably enjoy doing something like that and having their name on it. It's nice publicity for them. And then it has, you know, you have something to do inside of the gymnasium too. So he said they may expand that. They're trying different things every year. Did they have mariachis this year? Because we only saw the dancers. Does anybody know?
I believe that was the first band. Was the
Oh, so we
mariachi.
didn't get there because we came when it was late. Yeah, we came when it was dark. We thought that'd be fun for the kids. So, okay, it was again a very lovely event. And I'm sure there's other things, but I don't remember everything. I kind of just took notes as you guys were talking. In fact, my daughter said to me, I was with my daughter. She came down from Spokane to a friend's wedding. And she said, well, what are you doing for the week, Mom? And I said, I don't know, just the same old, same old. I had forgotten we were going to Death Valley for 4 days. She goes, you're in Death Valley. You told me you weren't doing anything. And I go, I don't remember what I'm doing the day ahead, and I forget what I'm doing the day after. I have to just look at my calendar. So, but yes, there's been a lot going on. It's a great community.
Thank you.
No,
Oh,
I'm going to
more?
mention one other
Oh,
thing I did.
Go ahead.
No, because we have people from the art museum here, the Conejo Valley Art Museum. So my husband is an artist, and they did a pop-up art show at Art Trek
Hmm.
for one of the artists that he knows. And so we went to that, and I just want to have a shout out to the art museum that they, even though they don't have a spot, they're kind of trying to keep art alive. So we enjoyed that very much. We were just going to stop in for 10 minutes, and I think we stayed the entire time. So yeah, a very nice event.
Mhm. Very good. Okay. As far as my activities, just want to go back to the haunted trail. I just realized we did do the haunted trail. And of course, our method is we try to get a 7 or 7:05 ticket because my youngest daughter says, well, it'll be late by the time we get back. So if we can go early, maybe we can get the kids back to bed. I think, yeah, right. So sure enough, we get there 7 o'clock, we do the trail, and then they stay and they stay and they stay and they just have so much fun just running on the grass. Just, if nothing else, they like to go through the line, but just, being out on the grass where it's just open and lit at night, they just love to just run around, or play tag or tackle or whatever they're doing, and they just have a ball. And my daughter said, "But okay, just let them have fun. It's better here than at home, so just let them run." So I mean, how often do the kids get to do that? So, until they get to soccer, and they complain about having to do it. So, but yeah, it was a lot of fun, and of course, the staff always does a great job with the crafts there at the haunted trail. It's far from haunted, but it is very entertaining. Even America said it was going to be a little spooky. I don't even know if I'd call it spooky, but it's just a lot of fun. But I was at CLU, was at the Costco board meeting, and then we did have a Association of Rec and Park Districts Legislative Committee meeting. So those were the official activities that I participated. I was not able to get to the SDA meeting this week. It sounded like it was a lot of fun. Sorry, I missed that. Okay, next is item 12, requests for status reports and items for subsequent agendas. Do we have any requests? Okay, next is items from the public. Do we have anybody online that wants to speak? Okay, and I have no cards here. Okay, we have no executive closed session. So I'm going to adjourn tonight in memory of the Borderline 12, which was amazingly enough 7 years ago, which is hard to comprehend. It seems like it was just yesterday. Some of us were closer to that than others. And I know there's going to be a special event recognizing that. It's a sobering, but also honoring event in our community. So with that, we are adjourned to our next meeting. Good night.